just like texts I shouldn't send. And I got neighbors, they're more like strangers. We could be friends. I just need a way.
Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Gigi, but if you've been rocking with your girl since day one, welcome back. Listen, I made this video or recorded this video a couple of weeks ago, recorded it in full, and somehow refamiliarizing myself with my camera settings, trying to edit the video, I deleted all of the footage. How did I do that? I couldn't even tell you, but I was pissed, and I honestly felt like that was the enemy trying to prevent me from pursuing something that I've always been passionate about. But we're back, okay? And listen, there might be another video uploaded prior to this one because, again, this video was supposed to come first, as this is a reintroduction of myself back to y'all. And I know y'all are probably about to eat me up in the comments because they like, girl, I've been hearing it all over. Where you been at? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's been going on with the content? Let me explain. So let's rewind it all the way back to 2022, right? Because that was the last time that I posted any content whatsoever. And at that time, you guys, I was really going through it unknowingly, like really experiencing spiritual warfare. And instead of like focusing on things that I needed to straighten out, solve, and just realign myself with any and everything, I distracted myself by indulging into pursuing YouTube again, and obviously failing at it because I need to be taking care of me first. My spiritual, mental, and my physical health was honestly declining, y'all. Like, honestly. And to be honest with you, also, I was like experiencing financial hardship. Like, things on the outside looked good, as I'm sure they did by looking at like my social media. And by the way, follow. Yes, ma'am. But baby, they weren't. I was being taken down up and through there and all around, y'all. And I had no choice but to put this on pause to allow myself to get myself together to be able to eventually come back to this if this was destined for me to do. You know what I mean? And so me at the time trying to be consistent with vlogging, it just wasn't meant for me at the time. So 2022 honestly was a blur. However, 2023 come along, still experiencing certain things, but again, distracting myself from what I needed to do, thinking that doing silly things like hanging out, drinking, like doing all of the things. Girl, I even got surgery because I had body dysmorphia. And honestly, it wasn't even nothing wrong with my body before, but I just felt like I wanted to have it. And whether if it was just for my own personal needs or to look like something, honestly, looking back, don't get me wrong, body is tea. But could I have waited to do that, or did I need to do it at all? Absolutely not. But again, things slowly but surely started to get better in 2023, but not as quick as I had planned or wanted them to. You know what I mean? Because again, I was distracting myself. Like, there's no other way for me to put it. And instead of focusing on me and pouring into myself, I was doing all of the things. 2023, the relationship between my boyfriend and I at the time had gotten better, but I still felt like at the time I didn't have a purpose, which I felt like I was just plummeting down a dark hole that I probably would have never came out of if I didn't find God. And that just leads me into my next topic that I wanted to talk about, because I was legit struggling with everything. Despite of not being where I was exactly in 2022, I wasn't where I wanted to be. And that I was still grateful for, but I still wasn't really happy. And it wasn't until I started to like follow God and, you know, understanding why being here was so important. Because when I say I was legit going through it, I'm talking about, and I can be 100% transparent just because I've overcame this thought. I was legit having suicidal thoughts because that's how unhappy I was with myself. And it may not have looked like it at the time, as I'm sure it didn't, because again, on the outside looking in, it looked like I was just having a time of my life, y'all. But in all actuality, your girl was really contemplating on being here. You know what I mean? And that's just so terrible to say. It's so terrible to think, but it's real, and it's thoughts that people experience, unfortunately. And on the outside looking in, people may, you know, question as to why you're even having these types of thoughts, but they don't know your story. They don't know your lore, because you can be guarded, secretive, and just real protective of your feelings like I am. And although that could be a good thing, but that could be a bad thing, because eventually you need to let all of the frustration out. And at the time, it felt like I just had all of these thoughts in my head that was trying to escape through a mouse hole, and it just felt like it wasn't filtering through fast enough. But God. So at the tail end of 2023, that's when I decided to just let it all go. I would say like maybe the quarter end of the year is really when I started to like give my life back to Christ. I started going to church every weekend. I still do go to church. The only time I miss it is if I'm sick or out of town. Like I literally was like, you know what, God, you got it. Go ahead. I don't even want it because it's too much. I can't bear it. It's too much weight on my shoulders. I feel like I'm drowning. I can't come up for air and I just feel like I'm about to give out. So literally the end of 2023 is when I started reading the Bible, and I started reading it on a level of where I can understand it and not just saying it like, you know, when you have conversations with people and you have your little bragging moments or whatever, and you're like, girl, I read the Bible. No, I really wanted to read it to the point where I can understand it and convey those messages to other people to where they understood it, and not again just look like somebody who just say that they can read the Bible, because anybody can read it, but can you read it to understand it? And that was something that was really, really important to me. So 2024 came. However, before I jump into 2024, I also want to mention that the power of the tongue, baby, is extremely powerful. So all while you're thinking negative, possibly speaking negative, things are going to be negative for you. However, thinking positive things, saying positive things, even writing them down, because a few of like people I work with or whatever, I would pretty much call them friends. It was such an enlightening moment. We went over someone's house and we all made vision boards. And when I tell y'all, almost everything on this board came to life. I cannot make this up. Almost every single thing on my board came to light, and it was because I felt like I remained faithful, I remained diligent, I was obedient. You know, I really just gave my life to him and just was like, you got it. Now, I don't want to say that sounding like I'm perfect, because I'm by far from it, but I am like working on myself, diligently working on myself. I'm trying to eliminate so many things. Like I've overcome so many, so I'm on the right path. However, one of the things that I prayed for, one of the many things that I prayed for, was to have some sort of recognition in my career. Like I work in corporate America and I've been with my company for 12 plus years now. And it just felt like all of what I have done, like the information I've learned, the knowledge that I can implement within my daily role, it was just being overlooked. And I went to certain people a couple of times and kept being told no. But this is the reason why you always got to have faith and walk by faith, not by sight. And become an advocate for yourself, because if you don't, then who will? So I didn't take the word no for the answer. Like I was like, excuse me, absolutely not. I don't even know what this means. I actually went above their head to speak with someone, and literally a week into 2024, I got exactly what I asked for. And I felt so extremely blessed. I remember this moment like as if it just happened, because it was almost a year ago from today. Nevertheless, it was such a joyful moment because I knew that it was going to affect my family's livelihood, my livelihood, all for the better. Then next up, the following, not the following month, because that happened literally in January, but in March, one of the most beautifulest thing, if that's a word, hold on, grammar police, don't come for me, but one of the most amazing things is what I'll say, is that my daughters and I got baptized. Now, I had already got baptized long ago when I was a little kid. Thankfully, I got baptized, I was filled with the Holy Ghost, I was saved, but I lost my way, obviously. So again, giving my life to Christ, I said, I'm going to re-cleanse myself. I really want God to purify my heart in the best way possible, and for him to help me become the woman that I am destined to be. And the fact that I had this type of conversation with my children, and they were actually in agreement to do it, it was just like the cherry on top. And that day, it just felt so amazing, especially watching my kids get baptized in purified waters. I don't want to tear up because I don't want to be crying on nobody's internet, but it was just one of the most memorable moments of 2024. Then next up, you know, I was fasting, I was being faithful and disciplined with things that I wanted to do. I was losing weight just because, like I told y'all, my health was declining. I was gaining weight like nobody's business, eating everything in sight, y'all. But I was losing weight, and I had another prayer, and another thing that I had on my vision board was for me to be married. My husband and I, now I can say that, have been together for quite some time, but I really wanted to give myself to God so much that I became abstinent, because I really didn't want anything or anyone to interfere with the relationship that I was working to develop with my father. So I became abstinent, and I actually went to my husband at the time and, you know, gave him the option that if he wasn't ready for something like this, I totally understood. You know, it would be devastating, of course, because I had been with him for a couple of years and obviously have grown comfortable with him. We had created our own little family. But when I say I was so serious about growing my life with Christ and just becoming closer with our Heavenly Father, I wasn't letting anyone stand in my way. But he joined the wave. We started reading the Bible together because he was slowly but surely already trying to find a narrow path himself. And then, you know, shockingly, he actually joined the church with me. We started praying together, and little did I know, again, one of the things that I prayed for was to be married, and he had already had the ring and proposed to me on Resurrection. No, my bad. He actually proposed to me on Good Friday. Holy Friday is what it's actually called. And I will never forget this moment either, because it was literally a week before my birthday, and we were at one of my favorite restaurants, Ruth Chris. Don't judge me, but I love me some Ruth Chris. And I remember, usually I'm very analytical and very observant of what's going on around me. I can clock it, baby. But this particular weekend, I was in complete abyss, oblivious to any and everything that was happening, unfortunately, but fortunately. And yeah, he proposed a week before my birthday. The following week, we ended up going to Mexico, and I had the best time of my life. Like, the best birthday I'd ever had in my entire life. Just so happened to where his cousin ended up staying at the same resort for the same amount of time, and baby, when they realized that they were there at the same time, they went up for the girl. They went up for me, and I couldn't be any more grateful and any more thankful than what I was. That birthday was, every single second of it was everything that I had imagined it to be, and I am so thankful and grateful for it. Like, I can't thank any and everybody who participated in doing what they did for me during that weekend enough. I am so thankful. However, that was in April, and things were just so copacetic. Like, I was just enjoying life. My husband and I actually ended up eloping May 13th just because we really wanted to make it about us. We really wanted people who were genuinely happy for us to see us create this covenant before, you know, a judge, and actually including God in our vows. Like, my vows to my husband was actually from the book of Ruth. Thankfully, I didn't tear up because I didn't want to mess up my makeup, but it was such a perfect day. I mean, it was barely any clouds in the sky. The weather was so perfect. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. Everything just flowed exactly how it was expected to flow. Like, it was destined. It was destined to happen the way that it did. And I'm in awe. I'm still like butterflies from it, and we're almost a year later at it. But yeah, so moving on into 2024, June and July, I was having a conversation with my sister-in-law, and she had told me that God spoke to her and told her to tell me to pick my camera up and start doing YouTube again, start vlogging, still becoming a content creator. And at first, you know, it was one of the things that resonated with me, but I didn't act on it just as of yet. But with TikTok being so quick and easily accessible, it was okay, I'm gonna try this out. Ben had an account with TikTok since probably it became popular, right? Which was what, during the pandemic? But it wasn't until like June or July when I started really taking it serious. And I probably started my account off with maybe 1,000 followers, if that. The fact that I took it serious and grew my account from just maybe a little under 1,000 or a little over 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers plus within 2 months just only further solidified what I am destined to do. Like, what God is literally has spoke to me before to do. And the fact that he used someone like my sister-in-law to put that bug or that seed in my ear, it was like that was all that I needed to put the fire up underneath me to be in front of y'all today. And so uploading TikTok videos, just having fun with it or whatever, seeing myself grow, the growing process on TikTok and whatnot, where I became a little doubtful, and that was because as motivating as I appeared to some, there were my moments where personally and privately, obviously, where I just felt like maybe this isn't for me. I didn't, you know how we all just want instant gratification right away, and I felt like I wasn't getting it, but like being blindsided to me actually getting it. And one thing that I really want to work on, because I really want to talk about goals before ending this vlog, is stop comparing yourself to other people, in a sense, especially if you're looking to become a content creator or an influencer of any kind, and you start your journey at the same time as one other person does, and you see that they're growing rapidly. You know, maybe it's meant for them to be at that speed, but that doesn't mean that you won't meet the finish line either. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I was at one point just being 100% transparent, comparing myself to other people that, you know, I started the journey with. And at first it was just like, you know, I don't know, just doubting myself, enemy just in my head, yapping. Let me tell y'all how funny God is. Let me tell you how powerful and how good our God is, okay? So, and y'all can look at my TikTok for this video, because I literally cannot make this up. It was one particular night. This was at like 3 in the morning when I was actually on TikTok having these thoughts. I wasn't speaking out loud because I didn't want the enemy to hear me. So I'm on my phone just scrolling, right? and I come across a supporter who I also support, who mentioned that she has seen a video of someone talking about the book of Amos. I think it was chapter 9 verse 13, and it pretty much, to summarize up the verse, is that to continue to be patient as God will bless you abundantly, you and your whole family, pretty much. And she was saying how she saw it 3 times, and she just felt like God was speaking to her. And so I just felt moved by that, because the moment that I realized God was talking to me, or has been talking to me, but his voice was just silent because the enemy be loud and all in your ear, but the moment that I realized that he be talking, can't nobody tell me nothing. Because baby, what you gotta know is that I'm gonna listen. So yeah, so I look at the video, listen to it, and I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. That's such a blessing. And so I swipe up, like, you know how we do, and I see the video again, like another girlie talking about this same book, same chapter, same verse. And I kind of like adjust myself in the bed. My husband sleep comfortable, and I'm like, hold on, you talking to me? I swipe up again. I didn't see it for the 3rd time, but what I did see was a girlie that I don't follow at all, where it said post your content. And I just was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just not meant. Again, back to the doubtful, discouraging thoughts. But I swipe up again. I listened to that video where the girlie is talking about post your content regardless of what it is. Of course, make sure that it's like harmless and all of that, right? Post your content, post your content. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've been posting it. I swipe up, I see post your content across the screen. Big bold white letters. And I sit still and I'm like, all right, God, are you talking to me? Y'all cannot make this up. The next video that I swipe up to, it was the lady that I follow, which I absolutely love her. Her name is Monique Barsh. If you're on TikTok and is looking for any type of inspiration for spiritual growth and just, you know, positive, upbeat vibe, go follow her. However, her video, I would never forget this moment. She had on like a green shirt or a green dress. She had like this Holly Berry cut back in the 90s, so beautiful. And she leans into the camera and she says, all right, y'all, don't go crazy in my comments, but God already gave you your answer. Baby, when I say I sat up in my bed, like I'm getting a little hot right now talking about it, and I know it's the Holy Spirit getting ready to take over me. So we're gonna pull it together, because again, we're not about to cry on nobody's internet. But when I say it moved me so much, I had to jump out of the bed. I didn't want to wake my husband at the time, but I just darted into the living room and I just started just like bawling. I'm talking about uncontrollably. And I have like little decals along in my living room, and the first one that I looked up before I even started to record a video to share just what I experienced, it says to pray more and worry less. Isn't that what they do on TikTok? Because baby, can't nobody tell me my God ain't good. Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, Rapha, yes, he gonna do it all the time, every time, and he gonna do it perfectly, okay? So while the enemy be mimicking and mirroring what it is that he's doing, he ain't gonna never win. But this is why being authentic is so imperative. It is always important to just be your true self and not conform to somebody else, but transform yourself to being just a better person. Don't copy and paste nobody's work. Don't copy and paste anybody. Just be yourself and grow within. And I promise you, you are going to look back and be proud of yourself and how far you've come along. So needless to say, and this is just only, you know, I would say a third through the year. 2024 was a good year for me, because baby, that was probably September of where I made that video just explaining and what I've witnessed. The next month in November, I made a pretty coin from TikTok, okay? Which is why I was a little salty when they banned it for 12 hours, but you know, that's a conversation for another day, because it's back now, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, 2024 was a great year for me. It most definitely was. It planted the seeds. It gave me the recipe. So 2025, baby, we about to cook. We about to cook it on up, because we ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice but to just go forward and only look back at the moments for lessons, and to use those lessons as blessings, because we don't want to keep repeating the same mistakes and complaining about them without change and wondering why we're driving ourselves crazy. I mean, that's the truth. So 2025, I really just simply want to focus on rebranding myself, because 2022, 2023, and 2024 truly allowed me to rediscover myself. So 2025 is all about rebranding, baby. Okay? So just to go over a couple of goals, because baby, I got them written down. Because what you gotta know is that I'm going to remember them, but I want to convey them so smooth, so seamless that you have to reciprocate and understand what I'm saying. So one of the goals, or a few of the goals that I want for myself, is just believing in myself more. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier in the video, we get in our head, we doubt ourselves, and we stand in our own way from achieving something that was always meant for us. And maybe not at that moment, but it was meant for us. So don't rush the process. Keep being consistent, keep pushing through. And this is me talking to myself and anybody who needs to hear this, because I most definitely need to hear it every day. Just becoming a little more fearless, ignoring naysayers. Like if you have a plan, if you have something that you are determined to do, keep that within yourself. Don't share too many goals or too many like things that you're looking to achieve within the next however many months, weeks, days, or whatever the case may be with too many people, because the enemy will most definitely use people to stop what you're trying to do. And just like implementing new ways to just become a better person overall. Like being quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to anger. Like not everything needs an impulsive reaction, you know what I mean? Or needs a reaction at all. If somebody is giving you some unsolicited advice, you could just be like, you know, take it or leave it. And it's just as simple as that. I really want the trajectory of my life to be exactly how God has intended for it to be. I really want to just follow along and, like my girl Lauren London say, to just not miss my mark. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to keep sitting back and looking at other people, you know, go after their dreams, like pursue their dreams and go after their goals, and wondering why they're so successful because I didn't do the same thing. I'm just sitting on my hands wondering why things aren't working in my favor. That's just not how it works. You really got to put the legwork, the muscle and everything into it in order for you to see results. So I want to be resilient. I want to be able to persevere even in doubt, even if I'm not seeing, you know, instant results that I want to see right away. I still want to keep pushing through, just because if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. Another thing that I need to stop doing is oversharing. Just like what I said, everybody ain't got to know everything. If you really feel the need to get it out, get a journal. Write it down. That's something that I started doing lately. I don't care if you got an iPad, MacBook, a computer, whatever the case may be. Go buy you a notebook, write your thoughts, your goals, and everything down. Stop oversharing, because the way the Holy Spirit be grabbing me by the mouth, like, girl, how many times I gotta tell you? Don't tell what we discussed. That's between me and you, girl. That's your goal. That's literally set personally for you. So stop oversharing in 2025. Most importantly, the number one thing that I really want to do is move with purpose. I want almost any and everything that I take action on to be intentional. I want it to be calculated. I want it to be strategic so that I can learn something from it each and every time. I don't want to be doing anything just to be doing it, just winging it, just because somebody else doing it. No, I really want to put the thought behind it and pursue whatever it is or execute it so I can see whatever it is flourish. Like truly moving with purpose. And building authentic relationships. I'm not trying to create relationships, friendships with anybody from trauma, because trauma bond can be kind of detrimental. It can be a good and bad thing. Only because, let's just say you got two people who created a bond from their own personal trauma. The moment that one starts to come out that trauma and the other one is still here, it could potentially create some sort of envious, jealous type of emotion. And now, instead of being friends, you're competing with each other, you're clashing. So I myself personally no longer want to do that. I do want to position myself around people, taking opportunities when they're presented to me, and stop sitting on my hands wondering why, again, things aren't working. I want to insert myself in conversations that I can learn from. And I really want to start implementing things that I set for myself for this year, and not just like talk about it, but like truly be about it. And one of the things that I really want to gain self-discipline on is having emotional intelligence. I truly think a lot of people aren't aware of that term, because it just goes back to what I said a couple of minutes ago. Like when someone say or do something to you, it doesn't always require a reaction, especially when you're reacting based off of emotion, because give or take what it is, and you're just instantly angered and you have this energy, this fuel, you might do something you could regret. You know what I mean? You could cause things to escalate to a point of no return. And that has been super important to me. So therefore, if I'm having a challenging conversation, you know, I want to be able to control my emotions enough to where I'm listening to understand and not listening to respond, so that we can either agree to disagree, find a happy medium, or me just take accountability to say, you know, I'm sorry, I apologize, or vice versa. Like, I really want to have like thought-provoking type of conversations with individuals to continue to help me learn, you know, educate myself. I really want to remain a student and never think of myself as a teacher, you know what I mean? Because I don't ever want to put a cap on how much my brain can retain. So self-development is very much so an extreme priority for me, because applying, implementing, sitting in my stillness. Sometimes there's just moments where it's not meant for you to be somewhere or go somewhere or be a part of something. Like, if you are listening and God is in your ear telling you like, this ain't for you, you might want to sit this one out. Sit this one out. And it could be a detrimental reason. It could be a great reason. You know what I mean? Like, I've encountered so many moments like that to where, because I used to feel like, I wouldn't say that I had FOMO, like fear of missing out, but I would say there would be times, especially give or take who it was or what was being done, where I just felt like I wanted to be there. But now I am content with being at home with my children, okay? I'm content with being in the comfort of my own home, and I am happy that I am at this place. I am at a place of peace, and that's how I know God is just in my life, that he didn't depart from me, that he is helping me along the way. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. All of the great things, even at moments or times where I'm just beating myself up, I know that I can go to God and pray it out, repent, ask for forgiveness, and that's a flex on its own. Having a powerful father, baby, we gonna continue to stump on the devil's head, right? Because we are the head and not the tail. So, I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I just really want to, you know, just get in front of you as a chit chat, let's catch up type of ordeal, just because I know y'all, I know it been some years. Don't beat me up in the comments, but I actually got a few videos already like prepared. I just got to edit them and put them out there, but I really wanted this to be the first video, again, as I mentioned in the very beginning, to be my reintroduction to YouTube, just because it's been so long. But if that wasn't in the plan, or what was in the plan, then by all means, we just got to change it up a little bit. But that doesn't mean to stop doing what you are so passionate about doing. Like, it's okay to take your breaks, because just like a 9-to-5 or a career, there's PTO for a reason. Sometimes you just need to have a mental reset for you to be able to restart. But don't quit. Don't give up. And that's something that I am learning. I am learning to stop starting projects and not finishing them. So we gonna keep at it. And I want y'all to hold me accountable, baby. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Y'all can be up under my videos like, girl, where's the content this week? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold me accountable, because we need accountability buddies sometimes. We need that reassurance, that push to keep going, because we're human at the end of the day. Nobody's perfect. But yeah, so that was all that I wanted to share. Again, catching up with y'all. I got some good stuff coming along this year, and I can't wait to continue to share and just experience this growth together. So don't forget to like, comment, and hit the button to subscribe. Love you. Bye.